Okay, question 3. This one is on page 61. So they give you a pedigree, they give you some information. They talk about this pedigree being about Opale. They talk about some of the traits, insufficient enamel on the teeth. And then they get right into the question. They said, indicate the mode of inheritance. So this is what you're going to have to do occasionally. Mode of inheritance, there's 4 ways in which this particular disease, Opale, can be inherited from one generation to the next. And of course that is autosomal dom, autosomal recessive, sex-linked dom, sex-linked recessive. Okay, so when they give you this picture, we're going to have to look at that evidence. Now I gave you a flow chart to help you memorize that evidence for each one of those modes. This is what you're going to have to incorporate when you do this type of question. So they're saying indicate the mode of inheritance, which one of the 4 is it, and provide 3 pieces of evidence to support your answer. Okay, so if we take a look at this, first thing we're going to take a look at is every single generation has somebody that is affected. Okay, so every single generation, so that tells me that it's probably going to be dominant. Okay, so dom. Now, you have to determine out of the 2 choices, is it sex-linked dom or is it autosomal dom? Now, if it's sex-linked dom, overwhelmingly, it's going to be females that are affected if you follow that evidence on that flow chart that I gave you. Now, does it look like overwhelmingly? Well, to me, no. We have 4 boys and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girls. Now, now it is more girls, but it's not overwhelmingly. It's not like 90% of them are going to be female here. But if you thought that, geez, maybe it might be sex-linked dom, remember one of the pieces of evidence I gave you. I said all affected boys, in this case generation 1-1, must have affected mums, and all their daughters must be affected as well for this to be sex-linked dom. Well, he had one daughter that's affected, but you can see his other daughter here is not affected. That absolutely is a clear giveaway that this is not going to be sex-linked dom. So that means it must be autodom. So autosomal dom. Okay, and the pieces of evidence, again, 1 for dom, we said every generation is affected, which tells us it's dom. Because it's relatively, not always 100%, but it's relatively equal boys and girls, that tells me it's autosomal. And this is just some of the evidence that you use. And here's another one that we can show that it's dom. Heterozygous individuals. So take a look at this individual's 1-1. How do we know that this person is heterozygous? This is kind of a clue to help you sort this out. You can see that they had some individuals with the disorder, we said, and some individuals without. So that tells us that they're heterozygous. And in this case, heteros have the disorder. And when they do have the disorder, that also tells us that it's dominant. Okay? All right, any issues, give me an email and we can take a look at this. Thanks, guys.